Hey guys, and welcome to the Sasageyo Podcast. This is Leah.
This is Tim.
And my voice is gone.
It is.
And I didn't mention that in episode 3.
You have to shake it up.
When you start the podcast, I feel like you gotta say it.
Yeah.
But
it shakes it up. It keeps them in, people,
they're like, who is
dedicated
that?
listeners
Is that her?
by now. Episode 4 dedicated listeners are already like, wait a second, this isn't what I'm used to hearing.
That's not her voice.
And then now they're instantly re-engaged. You got to just keep it spicy. Maybe there's going to be an episode where we do it all in a British accent.
No.
No. Couldn't keep up with that, and I'd annoy myself.
Yeah, I feel like
not because it's an annoying accent, but because
what the heck? What's wrong with you?
Leah's dad is British, so I have to be extra careful.
That's my family. Well, I like how we always talk about something random that we did this week or recently before. I don't know, just because it's fun. But this is actually on topic of the show, because you said you love shows that have a serious and realistic, painting of like, I don't know, death.
The world, humanity, human nature.
It's intense. The heroes don't always win. Or
if they win, they lose people along the way.
Yeah, you love that story.
Yeah.
And recently,
I have no idea what
you don't know what I'm gonna say.
No.
Tim and I were just obsessed with the movie series How to Train a Dragon.
Yeah.
How to Train a Dragon. Underrated franchise, which
it's not really underrated though. A lot of people
I have not seen anything about
it,
but suddenly now there's the live action, and now I'm seeing a bunch of stuff about it.
Right.
They just started filming it.
Gerard Butler, he's my dad.
He's also
not
the
really.
dad.
He is also the dad. He is stoic.
Which brings me to why Tim thought that this series was amazing.
Spoiler warning for sure the
ears.
first movie, for sure the second movie.
Not
I don't know how long.
Spoiler for the first. Oh, well, I mean, if you watch the series, spoiler.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's been several years at this point.
Close your ears for the next
just like
10 seconds.
Skip 30 seconds and go.
So his dad dies. And it's the saddest thing ever.
And he loses a leg.
Yeah, that's not sad.
That is sad. And then at the end of the whole series, they're not together anymore.
Oh my gosh.
Hiccup and Toothless.
I cried so hard when the dad died. Like, I was like, there's no way he's gonna come back.
So
like,
good.
I want a Disney ending. I want the dad to be resurrected. But no, they let the dad die. And then at the end, Toothless ends up staying with all the dragons and
almost doesn't recognize Hiccup.
And almost doesn't recognize him. And then he recognizes him. And then they start playing. And then his kids become friends with Toothless. And then I just totally cried so hard watching it.
You want to know what's even more sad?
What?
Is that Toothless kills Stoic.
And Toothless is the one who kills him. And I'm like, oh my gosh, why would you have him? Like,
so good.
Have it be a bad dragon.
It's a little morbid how much I love that plot. But it's just as good. It's like
I'm
motivational.
Like crying on the couch, and I look back at Tim, and he's just like, he's a little emotional, but he's like, you could tell he's like, this is good. This is good.
Like, I'm like proud of these characters for going through these moments, because nowadays it's like, okay, this movie is more recent, so I'm sorry, but the emotions one or elements from Disney, he dies at the end.
Wait,
major
what?
Spoiler. Yeah.
Wait, what?
The water guy, the water boyfriend, he dies.
He comes back.
Yeah, and then he comes back, and I'm like, of course he comes
Disney
back.
Ending.
Bring me Romeo and Juliet.
They both die.
But then, I guess for that specific story, it would be a classic Romeo and Juliet, but it's like...
That's what people would
think. It's a lose-lose situation. Might as well just bring him back.
Also, we saw Boy and the Heron.
That's good. That was a great movie.
That movie was interesting.
It was deep.
It's like a lot of Ghibli movies. Like, there's a lot of... We literally have to debrief after. We're like, okay, what did this mean?
Yeah.
That was weird. That was cool. I mean, it's just like the whole time. I mean, in the animation, you're just like, wow. So much is happening.
I've come to just accept in a good way that Miyazaki's movies are really just fables. Like that, there's a moral there,
a new fable
or a story, but you're not necessarily like, if I were to describe the plot to you, It's confusing. It doesn't make sense. There's like, wait, where did this character come from? How are they all of a sudden in this new world?
What's the symbolism
of
this?
But Miyazaki never gets into it because that's not really the point. Like, in Fables, they're like, a boy walked into a forest and then a wolf came up to him and then the wolf stood up and said, what is the meaning of life? And it's like, you don't ever question it. Just like, they're like, yeah, so moral of the story is...
You don't question the boy. Why is he in the woods?
The fable. Yeah, you just learn.
What's that wolf? Why can the wolf talk? Is it a magical? No, you don't question that. It just is what it is.
It's what it is.
And that's what Boy in the Heron. It's like, I'm going to accept this. Because there are parts where I was like, okay, well, what's the backstory? You never know.
Yeah.
You never find out.
Or they reveal details along the way.
Yeah.
That was a big thing about this movie. So anyways, how this all ties to Attack on Titan
you don't have to make it relate.
Because
I think you're trying to pull strings.
Anime.
Oh my gosh. You're trying to create stuff. Yeah, no, it's just good though.
It was good. Good movie.
Go see it.
We saw it subbed, which doesn't I mean,
Tim didn't
it's
know
not
that
like
it
Leah
was going to be
hates
in
that,
dub.
but like
why are you bringing me into this?
Because you prefer dubbed.
No, I knew that it was going to be in Japanese, and I was like, whatever.
Yeah, she didn't tell me.
But you wanted to hear Robert Pattinson's voice.
I did want to hear Robert Pattinson. I did want to hear Willem Dafoe, Florence Pugh, Christian Bale. So, but I'm not mad that I watched it subbed. It just means I need to rewatch it.
I wasn't going to see it for the voices, although I probably would have been interesting to hear how they'd sound.
Yeah, I need to rewatch it. I want to rewatch it with them.
Yeah.
Maito.
So good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Okay, let's get into the episode. Ready?
Okay, so right off the bat, it doesn't go straight into the theme song.
No, it goes into a recap of the last episodes, and then we learn Big Daddy Titan is Colossal Titan, which we did learn in the last episode, and then Iron Man Titan is Armor Titan. So we know the names now, officially.
Confirmed names.
Yeah. And then it goes to the name of the episode, which is The Night of the Closing Ceremony, Humanity's Comeback Part 2. Mm-hmm. So at this point, it's been more years later. So it like blasts through time. It's like they're kids and now they're just young adults.
Yeah, so now they're like 15.
15?
Yeah.
Oh, now they're 15.
Now they're 15.
I thought you said 15 years. I was like, what? They're like 2 years into training, and Armin be struggling. And you can, like, right off the bat, this sets Armin is kind of a weakling physically in the whole combat being scout thing. Mm-hmm. And Reiner kind of has like older brother vibes.
Yeah, big
and he
bro.
helps him out. He's like, I'll take your pack.
He's like, just as long as you pass, like, we'll call it even.
And Armin's like, heck no, I will not be someone who needs help.
So Commander Sergeant Keith, and he's kind of going through like
everybody.
Character by character and just basically pointing out their highlights. Reiner is built like a bull. Can I say all of them? Oh, you wrote them down? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, so the commander's like, Armin, what's his last name?
Arlert.
Arlert.
Armin
like alert,
Arlert. But put an R.
Arlert. And well, I don't have all of it. I have some stuff. Yeah. So he says built like a daffodil. Yeah. But then he says he's smart.
Academically brilliant.
Annie Leonhardt.
Well, Reiner is buff and respected by his comrades.
Oh, did I miss him?
Yeah.
I guess I missed him. Annie Leonhardt, gifted with a sword, doesn't play well with others. Mm-hmm. Bertold, talent but mild-mannered. Mm-hmm. Jean, smartass, top of his class with ODM. Shows cool clips of John of just the ODM gear, which I like when they do that. It's like shows it cool, just the ODM. And then, I mean, in the middle of this, I'm just thinking to myself, let's talk about the fact that they literally haven't seen a Titan. Some of these people, they haven't even seen one. Some of them have, but a lot of them who are fighting have not actually seen one face to face. So that's something to think about, because you notice when they do see him, it's intense. Sasha, unusually fine instincts. She just be messing around. That was my take.
You talk about Connie?
No, Connie's next. Connie, agile on the switchbacks. Few sandwiches shy of a picnic. What does that mean? Like he's fat?
No, he's very not fat. I think.
Oh, the opposite. Few sandwiches shy of a picnic. Is that like a saying?
I think.
Should I look it up?
Yeah, look it up. I think here's my interpretation. If you're to say someone is a few sandwiches shy of a picnic, that means that they have everything ready for a picnic except the main elements.
Oh, that's a good point. Good job.
I just made that up. I don't know if that's
that sounds actually right. Okay. A derogatory phrase meaning not very intelligent or of questionable mental capacity.
So it has nothing to do with what I said.
I liked what you said though. That was good.
Yeah. So he stoops.
And then it's Mikasa Ackerman excels in everything, a genius.
Yeah.
Eren, lackluster in class, better on the field, driven by purpose, which is terrifying.
Yeah. Which that's a good, Yeah. Eren is like the average person.
He's a psycho.
Like Eren
He's not the average person.
But he kind of is. But he's not great. He has to work for his skill. Like he has to put in the effort and the time.
But he has so much
but he has drive. That's what he has.
It's scary.
So, I mean, hey, let that be a life lesson. Let's close the podcast now. If you have a drive to become someone that you want to be, then you can do it. Sasageyo. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Then it goes into training, and this is a funny scene.
Where they're trying to steal the knife? The wooden knife?
Yeah, Eren and Reiner are like trying to,
Yeah, they're training. And Eren is just kind of confused. He's like, why would we ever need to know these skills? Like, we're trained to fight titans.
Yeah, he's like, why would we use a knife and like these combat skills? We're not going to do that with a titan. Yeah. So, and then it has this like flashback. Do you remember that? There's like a quick flashback of him just like a window.
Him as a child.
By a window.
Yeah.
Nothing happening really.
They show what that flashback is later.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Yeah.
And so I think we probably get to it around episode 6 or 7.
Yeah. So you've just seen this little flash and you're like, huh? So it's just kind of leading to what is that going to be?
Yeah. One of Eren's history moments. Also character building moments, but we'll get to that later.
You love the character building.
I love character building. So good.
Annie and Reiner are talking, but also let's talk about this. I feel like Reiner is letting Eren win. He's so much bigger than him.
Yeah, but Eren's also kind of like, sorry, I don't know my own strength, and Reiner doesn't seem to be like, no, I don't know. I feel like not that Reiner is like trying to win. I think Reiner is just performing the exercise.
Yeah,
and like
I just
Eren's
feel like
doing
Reiner could take him.
I don't think that the goal of the exercise is to like...
You see how much bigger Reiner is compared to
Reiner's like 2 feet taller.
He's literally 2 feet taller. And
so Reiner's big thing is like basically, so Eren's like, why are we doing this? Like, we're never going to fight. Our enemy isn't this size essentially. And Reiner's like, a soldier has to be prepared for anything and to do any job, which he's not wrong.
Yeah. And then he's like, why don't you go and...
Show Annie because she's slacking off.
Which... We don't really know this Annie character. We've seen her, but she's never had any sort of like parts or talking or anything. Yeah. So here we get to know Annie, the character. And she seems very mysterious. She doesn't talk. She's intense. And they say
she's stoic.
That's what the commander says is like she is a gifted with a sword, but doesn't play well with others. She doesn't really. She's not.
Yeah, she's a loner. She's a lone wolf. She goes by her own morals and ethics, and
Yeah, and so they fight, and within like 2 seconds,
she just kicks the crap out of him.
And
gets right. And so, but there's something to notice that I feel like the anime very clearly points out is that like she has more of an unconventional fighting style, so she has more of a stance that looks that Eren's kind of like whoa, like how is she preparing this way, which goes to make you think that like this isn't a style that they were trained by. Because she gets in this stance where it's like it's very fighters ready, like lightweight.
More boxing. Yeah.
Arms by her face.
And he ends up asking, like, where'd you learn that? And she says her father.
My dad. And then he tries to, make small talk. And he's like, did he, like, patent that move? And she's like, what does it matter?
What does it matter?
But, then she takes down...
And she goes up to Reiner and says, so you ready to take me on yourself yet or what? And then Reiner's like... okay, yeah, get ready, here I come. And then she just
poof on his back. On his
like,
butt.
why would you say that before you're gonna fight someone?
Here I
Get
come.
ready, here I come. He like prepared her. Just boom, wrecked. Yeah. Why would he say that?
It's funny.
And then
I like that the scene.
Yeah, that's a funny scene. And wait, is this in the background? Yeah. Oh yeah, in the background. Well, as Annie's talking to Eren, and
she's like explaining, like, open your eyes, like, see what's actually happening.
Yeah, we're basically trying to wait. Does she reveal that?
So I feel like the Japanese phrase is it the best. We said this, I think, in episode 1, but like I feel like the English, the dubbed version, like really just skirts, makes things more complicated. We were both
confused on Annie's little speech here because she's kind of like, it's like she's skirting around what the point is.
Yeah.
And she basically says, don't be a pawn in the game. And side note, during this, Sasha and Connie are in the background, and they're like
goofing off,
"Aw," like have their legs out, just totally messing around. And then Connie gets picked up by the head again by the commander.
It's so funny.
It's so funny. I love
like, that. Hello, sir. He like gets picked up.
And then, what are you doing? But during this all happening in the background,
giving a very intense.
She's giving this intense speech. We don't really fully, it's like she's alluding to things, and then Tim looked at the Japanese, and it makes so much more clear what she's saying,
that she's basically saying, because they've talked several, like, only the top 10 get to become a part of the military police, and she's like, why don't like we actually think about that? Why are the top people going the furthest away from the Titans, essentially? Which, I mean, logistically, it makes sense because the best of the best are supposed to protect the king. But, like, you are right in that it's like it doesn't make sense.
Basically, the worst ones are the ones to fight the Titans, and the Titans are the threat. The worst ones aren't going to be able to.
Like, the king doesn't really need protection against people. Like, anyone can probably handle a robber of any one of those soldiers, at least. But like not all of those soldiers have what it takes to take down a Titan. Yeah. Except for the top 10. So she's like, weird.
That doesn't make sense.
Pay attention. Like think it. Like why don't you think about that?
Yeah. So. And then Eren realizes that they're honing their skills not to fight but to run.
Yeah. So like the soldiers are. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's realizing all these things, like they're not actually gonna, like, us learning how to do hand-to-hand combat. Like we're not gonna fight a Titan, but we're getting this fit to basically run away from the Titans.
Right.
So he's kind of like, they think we're screwed.
Yeah.
We are. And then we go to the eating hall, food hall, and we meet Marco, who's just the sweetest little boy.
We meet him in the third episode, but he's kind of more like fleshed out.
Talk,
He wants to give life and limb to the king. And like he's genuine about it. He's like a genuine guy.
And John's like,
cut the crap.
And he's like, no, I'm
you're
serious.
Just like scared. You're trying to live in the cozy interior.
Mean. John's so mean. And
so starting from here is actually kind of when we get back into the manga.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it cut into the manga there?
Yeah,
kind of?
Pretty much.
Or the manga cut in?
Well, kind of.
Yeah. And Eren is like having an intense moment, as he does, the usual. It always shows these like profile clips of him like thinking to himself, getting angry. And he's like, he starts doing one of his speeches as usual, and his voice is all like deep and raspy. He's like growling as he's saying it.
Eren?
Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna get him. That was actually pretty good.
He does do that. He's like, I'm gonna kill every last one of those Titans.
That was actually, if you're watching the video, your face looked kind of crazy at that moment.
Drive them out.
I'm gonna kill them. And Eren per usual, Eren and John, they're gonna fight. You know.
But Mikasa's trying to
stops him, and there's this moment. She like is touching Eren's arm, and something ignites within John. And is he jealous?
I think he does say. He says, "I'm jealous of you."
Does he?
Yeah, he does.
Oh.
At least in the Japanese, maybe he does. But
I don't think he did, because I wrote, "Is John jealous?"
Yeah.
And then Eren's like,
"You ripped my shirt, you're dead," because he like grabs him by like the collar.
You're dead. And then it's like,
Eren has this like existential like Matrix moment.
Wait a minute, this guy's like me. He's got something to prove.
Sounds familiar. And then he pulls, and he's like, I gotta teach him a lesson. And then he, uses Annie's move on him and just like drop kicks him. And then he's like, and then John's like, the hell move was that?
Was they like the bridge version?
The hell move was that? That's a reference to the Attack on Titan bridge, by the way.
If you haven't listened to the last episode, listen to that because that was funny. Mm-hmm. That was really accurate.
And Eren basically just starts saying like, that's something I learned while you were like goofing off. He learned this move this morning
while you had your thumb up your ass.
Yeah.
That's what he said. And then the commander comes in. The commander's like so mysterious. It's like half of his face coming through the door. And he's like, what's going on here? It's like dark.
Yeah.
And
like, does anybody want to explain that little ruckus I just heard?
And it's so mysterious. And then Mika says like, Sasha passed some gas, Commander. And Sasha's like, oh
and like everyone's giggling about that. And he's like, learn some self-restraint. Oh my gosh. It's so funny. Yeah, that's good. I don't know. Just
then it shows the top of the class.
Yeah, then it kind of goes through like
some important characters are shown.
Who the top 10 of the class are, which of course all the main characters.
And of course Eren has to say
this talks about
dramatic, and he's like, Titans, be ready.
Yeah, this talks about so Mikasa is at the head.
Oh wait, does it show?
Yeah, and it shows like cool little picture. Well,
that's
it shows,
cool.
Yeah, so Mikasa is at the head. Second, Reiner Braun. Number 3, Bertolt Hoover.
That's cool.
Number 4, Annie Leonhardt. Number 5, Eren Yeager. Number 6, Jean Kirstein. So Eren beat Jean. Johnny boy. Number 7, Marco Bott. He made it. He can serve he can join the MPs. Number 8, Connie Springer. Number 9, Sasha Brous. And number 10, Krista Lenz.
Wait, who's second?
Reiner.
Who's first, Mikasa?
Yeah.
Okay.
Duh.
Who's third? Annie.
Bertolt.
And then Annie?
I'll tell you what I told him. That's also the Attack on Titan abridged. And then Annie is number 4, and then Eren.
Oh, okay.
So
that's cool. It shows a little in the manga. It shows it differently, but in the show, it shows it like ranked them next to each other, and then you see actually how much bigger Reiner is compared to Eren and Bertolt. They're both like grown men.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say like 6'4".
Right.
And Eren's probably like 5'8".
Yeah, it would be interesting knowing
5'6"
what all their heights are. We'll look that up.
Random thing. So then, John's all sad. He's under Eren. And Thomas points out we can't beat them and kind of makes everyone realize that. And
kind of before kind of leading up to that, like they're all talking about where is everyone going to go? Because this is kind of decision time. Like everyone either gets to join the garrison or the scouts, but only the top 10 get to do those two or the MPs.
Oh my gosh, you know what we didn't do last episode?
What?
Death count.
No one died.
And Eren count.
Oh.
It was both 0, by the way. Do you honestly? I'm thinking.
I don't know.
No, it was both 0.
Well, for sure, death count was 0.
It was last because we looked back. Remember, so both were 0. But I'm thinking we need to add in Eren's dramatic speeches
or Eren crying.
Or Eren crying. No, he hasn't cried that much.
He's cried. This is the third time he's cried in this episode. It's like at least averaging almost once an episode.
Is it every time he has a dramatic speech?
Which there's nothing wrong with men crying.
Yeah.
Okay? It's just Eren's a little more on the emotional side.
And yeah.
We want to point it out.
And yeah, of course, he's dramatic once again, and he's having another speech, and he's saying that there's hope, we've made progress. What do we do? Just give up?
Yeah. So what? Like they're gonna beat us?
He's growling like an animal again.
He's like, as long as one of us can like have the spirit to fight, we're not done.
And he's
like, then he like starts crying.
And everyone's like looking at him like, what the heck's up with this guy?
Which I honestly, so in the manga, he has this speech with Jean, actually, not Thomas. And I think it kind of means more because Jean wants to become the military police, and there's kind of more history there, as opposed to Thomas is like more of this known but side character. But I actually like the speech in Japanese more because they talk more. He kind of takes it more to, instead of like we have to kill them all, it's kind of more of like we need to reclaim the land that's like ours. So which feels
different meaning sure.
And it feels evidently, I mean, you've seen the rest of this episode, that like most people then kind of decide to become scouts instead of join the comfy interior.
Yeah,
and it's more motivational to just say like we need to reclaim what's ours. Like this is our land.
And I think that's why every time he does a speech, I'm like, here he goes again, because he's always like, we're gonna kill them. And there's no like meaning behind it, just anger. But in the Japanese, it's like honestly, if you only watch it in the Japanese, Eren's character probably has so much more depth than the English version of Eren.
I like watching both.
Yeah.
But I still probably prefer
interesting to only watch Japanese.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I did start.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I feel like the English didn't do English voice acting until like 2016.
Oh wow! So yeah, some people who watched it when it first came out only saw it in Japanese. Yeah. So they probably have a completely different perspective of Eren than people who've only watched it in English, where he's just angry and like, I'm gonna kill them all, instead of like, I want to reclaim the land, and like there's more honor and like freedom, humanity and stuff. So different.
So anyways, after that speech, he storms outside. Mikasa, Armin go to him. And he asks Armin, like, where are you going to go? Armin's like, I want to be a scout. And he's like, no way. Like, you deserve to, like, your brain is too important. Essentially, do something else.
You're going to die out there.
And then basically, Mikasa is like, yeah, I'm going to join the scouts too. And he's like, what? Your skill is way too good. You got to serve the king. And then she's like, where you go, I go. And well, it kind of gets into this later, but her motivation is because she's done losing family, is what she says, which is important for her character. And yeah, I think she actually
she says, she says a lot of people I used to care for about aren't here either. Yeah. So you kind of get a glimpse into her backstory with that. And then, the next scene is pretty good because we meet some important characters.
Who?
Commander Eren.
Oh, yeah.
Captain Levi.
Scouts.
Mr. Hannes again.
Mr. Hannes is back as like a commander.
You see these characters garrison. And they're
real briefly. So Keith, the former commander, is no longer there. Erwin now. And then now Levi has the strength of the whole brigade on his back, right? That's what other people say about him. That's all we know. And but you know that he's cool because he looks cool.
And it's all like happy. And Hannes makes a confession where he's like, I want you to know your mom's death still haunts me. And Eren is like, it's not your fault. And Hannes really needed to hear that.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, really? Like, I needed that. For sure. And
so what's interesting, if I can interrupt real quick, the manga actually kind of does this like sequence differently. So Eren and John fight because he's like, the world is ours to reclaim. Mikasa actually like literally picks him up, takes him outside, and is like, you need to like get some fresh air. And they have that whole talk. Armin eventually shows up. Mr. Hannes like walks up and they like salute him and then have their whole banter of how can a drunk be the commander of the garrison and stuff like that. Yeah. And then Hannes says, your mom's death still haunts me. And then he asks him, do you know anything about your father?
Oh.
And to which
Hannes asks Eren that?
Hannes asks Eren that.
Interesting.
And to which then Eren is like, no. And then he starts to have a headache and he's like, gosh, like why is my head like hurting? And then passes out.
In the manga?
In the manga, like he passes out and he's like, why is this happening to me? And they also kind of phrase it too of like, Mr. Hannes, you're not supposed to bring up his dad because they're like, not again. Wait, what did they say?
Not again?
He says, oh, that's right. Sorry, I totally forgot about that when like Eren starts like having a headache and he says, are you all right? But he said, why does this feels like my head's going to split in two, even though I can't remember a damn thing? And then he starts to have that flashback of like the syringe and his dad. But
which we've seen.
In the manga, we don't have the key. Yeah, in the manga, they don't really show anything about the key. And this is the scene that is shown in episode 2 of the manga where Eren has that dream of his dad with the syringe.
Yeah.
And then Eren wakes up and basically it kind of then carries on as the rest of the anime does from that point.
Dang.
Servicing the walls, accusing
so much
those
more
two
in the manga,
people
man.
of being married.
This is why we wanted to do this, so we could like go through everything.
Yeah.
So it's paying off.
You're welcome.
Okay.
You should still give it a read, though. Don't just rely on me.
Yeah, don't rely on us. And yeah, so that, I guess that all happens we didn't know about, which is kind of I think that would move the plot faster or make people want to know the answer faster, which like you do, but in the show they're trying to make it longer before we get to those conclusions or before we see those things or know that it's an actual problem for him.
Right.
So
and probably make it a little bit more canonically correct. Like probably when Eren has that dream in episode 2 of the anime, that is the night that it actually happens or whatever that this vision kind of takes place that isn't talked about now until like chapter 2, I think, or 3.
Literally. Yeah. And then we go to the next scene, which is
they're like servicing the walls or they're like all gathered outside. Yeah.
This is when they're up on the wall and it seems like
cannons,
and it seems like Eren's speech really spoke to everyone and they were like, we decided to join. His speech was inspirational and not annoying.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe his aggression was
People were inspired.
And then Sasha. Classic Sasha.
Classic.
Stole food from the commanders. Everyone's like, oh, what? She's crazy. And Marco, I think, is like, I would really like a slice, please.
It's not Marco.
Who is it?
Samuel.
I don't know. There's too many
Marco isn't
people. There. Okay, granted, Marco, Bertold, and Samuel.
Don't you dare say it at the risk of sounding racist. Are you going to say that they all look alike?
They all have dark hair.
Oh,
it's throwing me off. Gosh, people are going to listen to this. Oh,
she's not. I'm just making a joke. But no, yeah, it goes into that. That basically, because Sasha makes the point of like
she's like foaming at the mouth.
Meat is scarce, and but once we reclaim Walmaria, then we'll have all the land back again. And so then that's when everyone is basically implying that she wants to be a scout too. Yeah. So everyone wants to be a scout.
And Samuel's like, I would really like a piece. Please.
Really like a piece. And Connie's like, yes, save me. If he's gonna get one, I want one too.
Why do you say
hire
like
me
that?
as a voice actor?
And then you kind of realize everyone's friends.
Everyone's good.
And Eren's having
he's like, we're prepared.
Speech.
We're prepared. We're gonna
I should really go through that. All the dramatic speeches. Like we'd probably be at 10 or 15 by now. But he's having this dramatic speech, and this is where we do a callback to the abridged version where he's having this speech and he's like, the world is ours, we're gonna finish this fight. And then all of a sudden you hear lightning and the colossal titan appears out of nowhere right next to him. And we were gonna count how many teeth the colossal titan had.
We'll still do that.
We'll do that. We're gonna see if it's consistent. But in the abridged version, they're like, damn it, Eren, why do you keep jinxing shit? Because he's like, we'll win this fight. And then Titan always appears when he says that. So colossal Titan appears out of nowhere. Probably has like 60 teeth.
Yeah, way more than the human.
And it's just chaos right away. Did anyone die? Probably.
Well, probably, but not that
right next to him.
We see.
And then Eren's like, it's hot, it's hot.
Unconscious. Samuel's knocked unconscious, and then Sasha defies the walls of physics and starts running down the wall, jumps off the walls, lands back on the wall.
Does a flip and
She's
jumps
not attached
off the wall,
to anything. It's like the wall has its own gravity.
Changed. And she shoots. I don't know.
Her her
line or whatever.
ODM line through Samuel's leg
to catch him. Which
at least she saved him.
Ouch! But she saved him, and that was immediately Sasha's like the coolest one.
Yeah, she's Cool under pressure.
She's been the comedic relief, and then she's like, boom, under pressure, saves the first person.
It's her hunter's town instinct coming out.
True. She's from a hunter's town, I guess. And and then Connie's like, they're gonna get in, and he's like screaming.
And then Eren's like, chaos. Now's our chance. So Eren starts having these like pivotal flashbacks of like my mom, his mom being eaten and stuff like that. And so at least
he's like, now's our time.
Like,
under
now's
pressure,
our chance.
He's good,
and like he also rallies the other people too, and it's like good on him. At least he's not like all the talking.
He's being a captain. He's like, let's get him. He says, this is our chance, don't let him slip away. And he's like,
does cool, like lands on top of the wall.
You see his feet like slide.
Hello there, it's been 5 years.
And then
I think that's like,
is that in the manga? And then,
or maybe in the English, she's like, been a while.
And then the Colossal Titan's gone. Boom.
But yeah, he says it's been 5 years, huh? Well, yeah, a lot of the like, you can't really see it.
Can you count his teeth? Holy heck!
But a lot
I'm gonna count it right now. You talk.
Hello. So a lot of the cool things. I mean, I'm sure they do this for like every manga, but for this manga too, they get like, he has really detailed like pages in some scenes, and then the anime almost basically like one for one replicates it, if not like adds more details and stuff like that. It's really, really cool. So another reason to get the manga, because it's just basically an art book.
I was right.
62.
Wow. But that was just one side of his face. He's got a lot of teeth.
Right.
For chomping.
Right, but he also has like muscle. He also has like tendons keeping his mouth shut, so you don't know if it's for chomping.
True. He's like, it's been 5 years.
He doesn't look like he's in a munchy mood.
No, he's angry. Pretty epic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the end of the episode.
Ends on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Gotta love a cliffhanger.
Well, it's not even, the Colossal Titan's gone. Boom. And you're just like, what the heck? As a viewer, you're probably like, what the heck? Like, it's so annoying. I don't know if this is ruining anything, but it's common. It's like you're close and then it's gone.
Yeah.
Or I'm not going to ruin stuff. Okay. Did you write down the spoilers?
Yep.
You did? Okay. So, bye if you have not seen
spoiler alert
to the last minute.
See you next time.
Out of here.
Episode 5.
See you.
Good episode. Don't skip out on episode 5.
Oh, I don't remember.
Good episode.
You know what happens?
Yeah.
Is it really good?
Heck yeah.
Oh, is it like
are
new people coming?
What?
Are new people coming in?
No.
New Titans coming in?
No.
Okay, never mind. No spoilers. Okay, bye.
I don't know.
Okay, so spoilers. I don't even know what I wrote.
Eren beats Reiner. I say that, and then also
Annie and Reiner talk to each other, and they like know each other.
In the subbed version, Eren says, Reiner says to Eren, dang, I just wrote down what they said. He said, next time you'll be one of the bad guys.
Who said that?
I think it's Reiner saying that to Eren.
Next time you'll be one of the bad guys?
Because Eren was on the defense. Like when they're, kniving each other.
Oh, so kniving each other?
Yeah, so like, the scene starts, Eren flips Reiner, and then Reiner's like, oh, and he's like, sorry, I don't know my own strength. And then Reiner says, next time you'll be one of the bad guys. Which, so honestly, next time, Eren did become one of the bad guys.
When?
Because he becomes the main villain of the show, like starting season 4.
For a second, I forgot we were in spoilers because I was like, Tim, are you about to reveal some stuff? So yeah, he does end up becoming the bad guy.
Yeah.
In a way.
And then the flashback of Eren killing, Mikasa's captors.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to lose any more family.
Yeah, which we don't know. No one knows about yet, but we know. Mm-hmm. And that's her backstory. And like I said, Annie and Reiner know each other.
But they don't really explain that they have like a history, backstory.
Yeah, no, you don't know that. We just know that they know.
You just know that Bertold and Reiner are friends, like from the same village.
Mm-hmm. And Annie's like separate from them, but she's not.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Like, that's basically it. I feel like there isn't a whole lot of spoilers.
No, this one doesn't have a lot. I didn't notice any.
Yeah. I mean, just good. Overall, good episode. I like this episode.
Yeah. I like how they show, and then they show, they show Erwin and Levi. And, what's the other girl? What's the girl's name? Hanji. Is she in it too? Yeah. They didn't mention her, but she was next to Levi.
Yeah.
So they show Hanji, and so that part's... It's like when you've seen the whole show and you see those characters for the first time, you're like, oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. Oh, so good.
It is so good. I love this show.
So, yeah. That's pretty much it, right?
Also, I put when Eren beats Reiner, that Jean gets the final word. Sheesh! Even though Eren won the fight, Jean won the battle.
For Mikasa,
I guess.
I also I forgot to mention this, but I kind of was like, it seems like Eren kind of has a crush on Annie.
Yeah.
We didn't say that.
It's not really a spoiler, but because I don't think they ever... I mean, I know later in the series, in the series, he has like hesitations about fighting her. And I think Mikasa, like, what's the word? Like, asks him like if he has feelings for her or something, and he kind of is like hesitating. I think he in some ways like respects her and admires her because she is like smart. She's a good fighter, and probably the exact opposite of Mikasa in terms of like Mikasa is like a koala bear hugging on his arm, and Annie's like mysterious. Blowing him off. In social setting. Dang, just is not regarding him. Whatever. Yikes, sorry.
Mysterious.
That's a common phrase, okay?
I know, but you know people have dirty minds.
Sorry.
Mysterious. She's mysterious. So, but doesn't Armin end up liking Annie?
Yeah, they end up together.
Right? Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm just making sure I'm saying things right because I feel like people are gonna like hunt me down and be like, she doesn't know the show. But I'm learning.
If anything, you reflect.
I'm the learner
watcher
in this situation.
Yeah,
he's the educator. So if he's wrong, come for him.
Yeah,
come for him. Okay, cool.
Nicely.
Yeah, like we've said, seriously, send us an email about things we haven't noticed, like that you noticed in these first how many episodes? 4?
Because I feel like especially in the spoiler section, we can go back to a lot of like old spoiler like things that you've pointed out. There's probably not going to be like, oh, you didn't talk about this like very canon thing that like we probably will likely talk about it, but like any spoilers or hints towards like later episodes that we missed, we can always talk in the spoiler
and we're trying
section.
I mean, these episodes aren't supposed to be super long. Our episodes.
Yeah.
So we're not trying to make it like an hour. You know, we're trying to make it less than that. So anyway, make sure to
email us, comment on YouTube, follow us on TikTok,
to the podcast,
Instagram. Subscribe to the podcast. Give us a rating.
Yeah.
Be nice.
There's gonna be a lot.
Come on, we're all human beings.
We're not perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. We'll see you guys next week. And
Sasageyo.
Give
your hearts.
Boom. Bye.